This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, 1969, April the 14th. Well, my cousin Heather's birthday is on April 14th, but she was born in 1984. And truthfully, I was supposed to be born April 14th in 1985, but I arrived 5 days early. Regardless, on April 14th, the Montreal Expos made their home debut. Now the city of Montreal actually did have a love affair with baseball. One of the best baseball minor league teams of all time happened. The Montreal Royals went into the International League, or basically the AAA affiliate, and the Brooklyn Dodgers decided to purchase the Montreal Royals in the Eastern League to be a AAA affiliate in 1939. The Royals would win 7 International League championships, 3 Junior World Series titles between that. Basically, the winners of the AAA leagues would face each other between 1941 and 1958. And famously, Jackie Robinson came to Montreal in 1946. In his one season before, he would move up to the big boys, the Brooklyn Dodgers, and break baseball's color line. Unfortunately, the Royals had declining attendance, and the team was sold and relocated, as the Dodgers would have to reduce the number of teams at AAA. But it was good because Montreal Mayor Jean Drapeau decided to say, hey, you know what? We need a baseball team in Canada, a major league team. Now, of course, Toronto wouldn't come until 1977, but Montreal did their chances. Rumors were circulating that Montreal could have had a chance at the St. Louis Browns in 1933. Well, those St. Louis Browns were moved to Baltimore in 1954. They almost had a chance to get the 1962 expansion, but they failed. So they got a bid to the league's owners at the winter meetings in 1967. And Walter O'Malley, who owned the Dodgers, was the chairman of the NL Expansion Committee. So San Diego and Montreal were given franchises. Unfortunately, Montreal had one big, gigantic problem, and that was a suitable ballpark. So they had to renovate a very small baseball stadium at Jerry Park. And it wasn't pretty. Somehow, in some way, the Expos still have their expansion franchise. Well, the Expos would make their debut April 8th, 1969, at Shea Stadium, facing the New York Mets, who were not really predicted to do well. Obviously, these are the 69 Miracle Mets. But anyway, in a back-and-forth game that saw Dan McGinn, a relief pitcher, become the first Expo to hit a home run, of all people. They win the game 11-10 over the Mets. So that was huge. Taking down the Mets. And then, a week later, they would play at home against the St. Louis Cardinals in front of 29,000 fans at Cherry Park. 29,000 is small. Even smaller than Fenway. Well, Fenway, pre-Monster seats. Anyway, they would take on the Cardinals in a quaint game at a quaint stadium. And a lot of people were like, well, this isn't going to be good. So the Expos started out life at 2-4, and the Cardinals were 3-3. So on a Monday afternoon at around 1:50 local time, the game was happening. The Cardinals had Lou Brock, Kurt Flood, Fatty Pinson, Joe Torre. Yes, he was a good baseball player before he was a manager. Mike Shannon, Tim McArthur, yeah. Julio Javier, and now Del Maxwell, and the pitcher Nelson Briles play. So the Cardinals were fresh off their 1968 collapse of the World Series, being up 3-1 against the Detroit Tigers and fucking it up. The Expos had Don Bosch in center, Maury Choo Choo Wills at shortstop. Yes, that one. Rusty Stubb, the Grand Orange in right field, Mac Jonesville Jones in left field. The mayor of Jonestown, or Jonesville, or whatever it is. Bob Bailey at first, John Bateman catching, Coco LeBoy, that is a real name, at third base, Gary Sutherland at second, and Larry Jaster being the pitcher. The Expos would strike first with a 3-run home run by Mac Jones off of Briles in the first inning. And then the Expos had a 2-run triple by Mac Jones. So Mac Jones was just a Mac truck, if you will, in that game. It's where the first 5 RBIs. Larry Jaster even helped himself with an RBI single in the third to make it 6-0. Unfortunately, the wheels fell off in the 4th inning as Dal Maxwell, with Mike Shannon, Tim McArthur, and Julio Javier hit a grand slam. And Maxwell was not known for his power. So the grand slam made it 6-4. Fatted Pinson hit an RBI single to score Kurt Flood. And Joe Torre put up a 2-run home run to score him and Pinson. Dan McGinn, the hitting hero of the the Expos in the first ever game at Shea Stadium, would come in and relieve. Bob Bailey would score on a wild pitch to make it 7-all. And then Dan McGinn, again, that guy, what is with this guy? With an RBI single to score Coco Boy and make it 8-7. The game ended that way. So, pitching-wise, the Expos only used 2 pitchers. Larry Jasper for 3 2/3, and Dan McGinn the rest of the way, 5 1/3, 3 hits, no runs given up. And he got the win and the winning RBI. The Cardinals had Nelson Braz for 3 innings, and then Gary Waslewski for 4, and Joe Horner for the 8th. So, it was amazing. The Montreal Expos had won the first ever Major League game in Canada. And they could have blown it. And Dan McGinn, again, comes up aces. Like, this guy, man, relief pitchers as good hitters, usually that doesn't happen. I can only think of Michael Lorenzen of the Reds. That one year, he had a few gigantic home runs. So, yeah. It was weird. I wish Dan McGinn was a starter pitcher so that he could get more at-bats, but whatever. The Expos, of course, that would be one of the biggest high points. They would only win 52 games that year. And the worst part was the 69 Mets, the team that they beat the first Major League game by a team in Canada, by a Canadian team, actually ended up winning the World Series, coming from freaking nowhere to take down the Cubs in September, go on to the first NLCS, beat the Atlanta Braves, and then take down the Baltimore Orioles in a shocker that a lot of people say was one of the greatest World Series upsets ever. I would beg to disagree. I would say the 1906 White Sox-Cubs series, because Cubs won 116 games out of 152, and the White Sox only were known for their pitching, and that actually helped them. But yeah, the Expos would get out of their funk by 1973 when they were in that tight division race for which the Mets took. But here's the funny thing. This happened April 14th. 3 days later, in Philadelphia, Bill Stoneman throws a no-hitter. And it was shocking. The Expos had played 8 games, and then they have a no-hitter. That is the fastest no-hitter by an expansion franchise, or any franchise ever. And that's amazing. The Expos Gagne. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adu.